Yo, what's up, guys? This is Terrell here to bring you Sket Dance episode 62 to review. Yeah! Sket Dance, we can't do that! Almost forgot to breathe there. Actually, my head hurts a little bit. You know, I will say this much. I may not like Medaka Box as much as I like Sket Dance, but I will say that in terms of placing them together, in terms of on the week, like how you watch Medaka Box like that early morning, and then you watch Sket Dance like later on that same day, works out so well. Because if you're ticked off with Medaka, Sket Dance almost completely removes any aggravation you had with it. Because right now I'm so chilled out with I don't remember why I was angry. But anyways, for those who didn't watch those Medaka reactions, this doesn't make any fucking sense to you. But anyways, let's get into pretty much. I'm calling this episode the setup of the Lolz because, my God, the setup is like there for every comedy joke that will happen throughout the fucking rest of this arc. So the episode kind of has this whole two mixture kind of thing where part A is like a mini Saya moment, and then the second half is literally like setting up for the rest of School Rhapsody, because obviously this episode is called Skip instead of actually being called School Rhapsody. And we know, and ironically, they actually have the preview in the Crunchyroll preview. So, yay, we can actually see the preview on Crunchyroll instead of having to go to TV Tokyo's website like I've been doing. So, honestly, I have no need to link it, but I'll probably link it anyway, just for the sake of it. But, so the beginning of the episode is starting out with the whole thing with the skip is that the beginning of the episode tells you Chusan's like, alright, we're going on a ski trip, which I didn't know it was a ski trip. I thought it was like some type of camping, but apparently it's a ski trip. It's a ski trip, and they have the school tradition that they have this competition between the classes to skip rope. And whoever can skip the highest amount of time, I believe, gets like the best bus or like the best, I believe it's just like the best bus or like the best lodging. I forget what it is. But, so everyone, everyone's in their respective classes. Like, Tsubaki's in his own class, and Saya and Captain are in the same class, and then you have, like, Bosun, Himiko, and Switch in their own class. And the thing we find out about Saya in this episode is that she has no athletic ability whatsoever. Which I find that weird that she correlates with Bosun even on that level. Because every time they're practicing the skip rope, Saya always fucks up on the first one, but like the boys don't really get mad at her because she's tsundere and she's cute, which I can't hate on I can't hate on them for that because she is. But you got this one person, I forget her name because I'm pretty sure she's not important, who is like a tsundere type girl too, and it was like, listen, you're not helping, you're a nuisance. Can you even ski? No, I can't ski. Well, then there's really no point for you to go anyway. So maybe you should just leave it alone. And then like Saya's thinking about it, and she's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Have fun with your skip rope. And everyone can tell, and and they're all right, that the way she acts, her personality is so obvious that what she did there was give everyone else a chance to practice without her messing everyone else up. And she's going to go practice in private. And Captain's like, and I'm pretty sure I know where she's going to go practice at. And then the next scene is her in the Sket Dance explaining her problem. Which was so funny that it was so obvious, but it was cute too. So the Sket Dance agrees to help her skip rope. And there's this really weird scene, but it's really funny, where it's like, okay, we're not going to do the giant rope thing because that's a little bit too much. We'll start one by one. So Boston's like, I'm going to skip and you're going to jump into the hoop with me while I'm skipping. And we're going to try it that way. And so, like, he's singing, like, the song. I don't really know the song because I think it's a Japanese song. He's skipping and he's waiting for Saya to hop in. A few minutes later, we're still waiting for Saya to hop in. Hop in, Saya. Still waiting. And it's like this for a minute. And then for some random ass reason, when there's like a scene where she finally hops in, and then like you see this random shot of her chest, which I don't know if that's supposed to imply that Boston's checking out her chest, which I think is what it is, because the next thing you see is Himiko kick the shit out of Boston while he's skipping. So it's like, and he just like flies off screen. And remember, that whole scene started when Saya first jumps in is silent. You hear this music, and it's sparkling, and you see the shot of her chest, and you see Himiko kick him, but there's no dialogue whatsoever, so you have to assume everything. And then what makes it even worse, and then they never readdress it, so you just cut to the scene where the competition has started. And like Tsubaki's class has gotten like 78 jumps. So now it's like Saya/Captain's class's turn. And they're jumping rope and they get to 77 and then they fuck up. And it's like, and then Saya says, oh, I'm sorry, I fucked up. But everyone gave her props because that was so much better than, you know, fucking up on one. And then the girl that was arguing with her earlier and saying that she was useless confronts her because we find out that it was actually the girl who was talking shit about Saya fucking them over is the one who fucked them over. But she took the blame for no reason. And it's like, well, we kind of think the same, we relate, so, and then, you know, we had this little heartwarming moment. You even get to see Boston trying to be like a mentor in the background, listening in on the conversation, and then walking away with that, like, smile on his face, his hands in his pocket. And what made it worse is that, like, now, here's the funny shit that happens at the end of this. At the end of the first part, Boston does the whole inspiring speech bit for his class, because his class is up next, like, we're not going for 78 hits. We're not going for 79 hits to be one hit over. We're going for 100. Are you with me, guys? We're going to go in there and we're going to kick ass. And like, everyone's inspired. And then the obvious joke happens, which is they get to 1. And Boston's the reason why they fucked up on the first damn skip. There's so much lull there. There was so much lull there. Then we cut to the second half, which is them on the bus on their way. And I love this funny-ass bit with Tsubaki at the beginning. Because Tsubaki's class is so big, they couldn't fit all on the special bus. So they had to kind of like draw a lottery to see who would end up on the like shittier buses. And ironically, Tsubaki lost that. And he's on the bus like Boston, Himiko, Switch, and Chusan, and One-san. So it's like, you see him and he's just like, fuck me. And so he's dealing with them being all random and awkward. Boston's passing Pocky around everyone, and he's kind of going, ch. And he's like, did you just go, ch? It's like, what, do you want some Pocky? It's like, no, I don't want any Pocky. I have Cookie. Now, I know what you're thinking. And this is what I thought too. I heard Cookie, and I was like, Cookie? You mean like the chocolate chip cookies? I mean, it relates to Pocky, because Pocky's kind of like that, but as like a stick form. No, what Cookie is actually like Kuchikua, or Cookie, what is it, Kukikua, which I believe, which I'm probably mispronouncing it, but that's like a Japanese word, it's a Japanese pun. When he says cookie, he means Kukikua, which Kukikua is seaweed sticks. And it's just like, in Boston, and me and Boston were just like, really? Who the seaweed sticks? What is wrong with you? Like, I swear to God, Tsubaki has like the most like weird, dull personality sometimes. Jesus Christ. Seaweed sticks, really? And then we kind of cut over to the other buses where Sai is obviously thinking about Boston because she's just that, because that's how crushes work. And she's on the same bus as Captain. Apparently Unyu's on the bus too, which I kind of wish they had spent more time, because I feel like Unyu is one of those characters you could have a lot of fun with, that they would do more with her. But essentially Captain's eating, because that's how Captain's jokes work. She's eating. And they're doing, and you know, I didn't realize this is like I didn't realize how awkward it is to see like Saya like thinking and then like seeing Captain eating in the background, because it's literally, you're looking at Saya and in the corner you keep seeing this flash, and the flash is, you know how the way Captain eats, or Takanashi eats, is like the food gets like this close to her face and then it just disappears and you see the speed line, so it's like she's like, and it's so fucking weird and distracting because she's trying to like ask Takanashi about Boston related conversation, and you just keep seeing this. It's like, okay, we're done. Like, we're gonna take a break. Fuck this shit. You were tripping. I cannot talk to you like this. Like, I thought that was so funny. And then what happened, and I know this is taking longer period because there's a lot more to talk about, because I've never actually reviewed an arc that, actually haven't reviewed a series, like a main arc in the series yet, except for part of Happy Birthday and part of Happy Rebirthday. which I think those videos were long too. But they have like this little restaurant where they go to like this convenience store at the rest stop. So Boston and Himiko are going into that rest stop, and then like Saya sees them, and then Switch is like, and she looks at Switch and is like, "You're not going either." It's like, that's your friends. You should go in there and catch up. It's like, no, I'm not always with them. I sometimes go off on my own. I mean, let's just take the first part of this episode for example. I didn't have one single line. I was like, okay, Switch. So we're just gonna break the fourth wall again. I mean, that's a good job, but still, it's funny. I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking funny. It was like I didn't have one single line this episode, the first half of this episode, and then pretty much what you have is Saya questioning Switch about Himiko's relationship with Boston. Switch being like, you know, I don't really know what their relationship is. Why don't you just ask him? And she's like, well, I can't ask him. And she has the little tsundere cute mode about it. And he's like, well, I mean, that's what friends should be able to do, is talk to each other about that kind of stuff. It's not that big of a deal. And so that kind of gives her the confidence to be like, when I get the chance, I'll talk to him. Which obviously is setting up for something. That's why I said this episode is called Setting Up for the Lolz. This is where the sets up really happens. Because at the end of the episode, they're back on the bus. And for some reason now Himiko is car sick. And Chusan mentions he has some pills for motion sickness, among other things. And obviously Himiko has the obvious reaction is, Chusan has pills. Fuck that. I'll suffer through it. And then Chusan goes to his explanation that he has like a shit ton of pills, and only like he has that one motion sickness pill, which is the only normal one. Ironically, half the pills have been like things that have happened to Boston anyway through his experiments. Like one of the pills changes his personality, which has happened. Makes his hair grow longer, which has happened. What was the other one? Turns him invisible, which has happened. And then you had a few new ones, like one of them makes you lose all motivation, which may have happened, but I don't remember that episode in particular if it did. But apparently there's one that makes you lose all motivation. And then there's like 3 other new ones. The one that's not motion sickness, one that's called Hypno, which is essentially a hypnosis pill where if you take it, the first noun you hear is what you're gonna start acting like. And then on top of that you have Exchange, which is a body switching drug. Now, the thing about Hypno and Exchange is very key, is that both of them look the same. And Chusan now is interested, since Tsubaki's there with them. It's like, Boston and Tsubaki should both take the Exchange pill, just to see how it will work for twins. At this point, Himiko is so delirious through the car sickness, she's like, fuck it, I want the pill, and fuck it, Boston and Tsubaki, take the fucking Exchange pill. And so she reaches in there to grab the pill, and she's delirious, so we can already see what the joke is. Essentially what happens is that Tsubaki ends up taking Hypno, and Boston and Himiko end up taking Exchange. Boston was supposed to take Exchange, but for some reason Tsubaki ended up accidentally grabbing Hypno because Hypno and Exchange look the same, and through Himiko's delirium, she grabbed the wrong fucking pill. So what we have is a Tsubaki that acts like Boston, because the first thing they said before Tsubaki woke up was, is he acting like Boston yet? So he automatically acted like Boston, so they thought they worked. So you have a Boston Tsubaki, Himiko Boston, and fucking Himiko Boston and Boston Himiko, which is, I'm getting a lot of One Piece vibes with that whole Punk Hazard switching bodies thing. But whatever. And the thing is that when Chusan's like, all right, we can fix this. We have, and it's like realizes that the rest of the black pills are Hypno pills. They're not Exchange pills, meaning that Tsubaki, no, not Tsubaki, but they can fix Tsubaki. Wow, Tsubaki. They can fix Tsubaki, but they can't fix Boston and Himiko until after the trip. So they're stuck like that for the rest of the trip. And you can already tell that the shit with Tsubaki is going to go horribly wrong, because in the preview, they show essentially this is the trigger behind Cat Tsubaki. Because the preview pretty much shows that. And I heard from a lot of people who are Sket Dance fans who read the manga said this is their favorite art because of how fucking funny it is. Now, it also sets up the Saya joke that'll probably happen later on. But essentially, the reason why I heard this arc was so fucking funny is because you know, the body switching thing has been brought up in older shows before. The reason, from what I heard, the reason why it's so funny in Sket Dance is because the things that most cartoons that make this joke episode don't address, like the whole bathroom and being in each other's body shit. The obvious things you wouldn't show on TV. I heard that Sket Dance actually shows all those things. Like, shows the awkwardness of going to the bathroom in someone else's body, nonetheless someone of the opposite gender. And I heard that it's just fucking ridiculous how crazy the jokes are gonna get. That's why I said this is set up, because this is set up for all the Tsubaki cat thing, the Saya shit, and the body switching hilarity that will ensue with Boston and Himiko. So I thought this was pretty fucking funny. I cannot wait until next week. Some tells me that next week will probably be censored in some way, and I'll probably have to go read the chapters to see how censored it is, because I heard it gets really fucking ridiculous during this arc with that comedy. Which I guess now that if it's in like present time arcs, it's just gonna be really, really funny versus like flashbacks that are serious as shit in multiple episodes, whereas like canon multiple episode arcs are just gonna be really, really fucking funny. Because I know there's another arc coming up later with relating around Agata, so that should be interesting too. And the only thing I know the results of that arc, and I know that there are 2 new characters that we should be introduced to pretty soon after this arc. But I'm kind of rambling now, so I'm looking forward to this shit. I'm ready to laugh my ass off next week. Somehow I feel like it will probably be censored because I'm thinking of how ridiculous this could get. They're probably going to censor next week in some way, shape, or form. And I'll know by looking at the comments from the manga fans on Crunchyroll. So that's essentially it. Tell me your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I have been talking for almost 20 minutes. I'm tired because I just came back from school pretty much like an hour ago. So with all that being said, we're done here. So this has been that was a horrible way to do it. But this has been the Vlogs Game from your boy Terrell, and I'll catch you guys later. Sket this, what's so awesome? Peace off.